Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High, Yahweh, ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well, and shalom to the Akim, Akwathium, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom. Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the Holy One, by the Shalak. Let me read that again. So Daniel 4:17. You know what? Before I get started, before I start the camp, I just want to bring something. I want to bring something up that happened yesterday with my earthly family. Okay, before I get started, because it's important, man. The Yahweh the Maccabees was going through a few things that he mentioned on video about how some of his family member are coming at him, telling him, that he's wrong for the way that he's teaching and everything. So basically, that there was a comedian. Okay, this guy has been doing all these little skits, and he has mocked the messengers of the Most High. Okay, and we know what happened to what the fuck is his name, Ricky Harris. Okay, look up Ricky Harris when he did the skit. Okay, a couple months later he died. Okay, he was mocking the brothers that are out on the highways and hedges teaching, man. Okay, so my family sent, my sister sent a that particular video. Them, the guy going around mocking brothers. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's like, I mean, if that's what the fuck y'all think that we out there doing all day, man, then you're gonna fucking die on this side. You're in ignorance, And I had to explain to my sister that I didn't think the shit was funny. You know what I mean? you know, and I said, fuck that dude. You know what I mean? I said, fuck that dude. And I said, go and look at what happened to Ricky Harris after he mocked brothers that are out there on the streets. And I said, I'm not aggressive, because she was talking about how we're aggressive and all that. It's like, motherfucker, I'm not aggressive. I'm not aggressive unless somebody comes up and they show me their ass. Okay? And then my little then she said, asked me what the fuck my problem is. What the fuck's your problem? And I had to ask her, what the fuck's your problem? Basically I was telling her about Ricky Harris. Then I sent the book of Second Kings, I believe it is, where the little kids were mocking Elisha. Okay? That's the same thing that this dude is doing. He's mocking prophets. So when these kids mocked Elisha, the Most High sent sheep bearers to fuck their asses up, man. Tore 42 kids up. So I'm telling her, this man is going to fucking die. He's going to fuck around and die. And anybody that does this, anybody that mocks a messenger of the Most High is going to die. Whether it be now or it's going to be during the fucking martial law when all hell starts breaking loose. Okay? She got pissed off. Then my little brother, her Ace Boom, one of my other brothers, they have a different father, same mother, different father, but it's like we grew up in the same house at the end of the day. But my sisters that are right underneath me, okay, they didn't get involved. They was trying to cool everything down, but I was basically telling them, man, yeah, go, man, fuck y'all. You know, I call them non-believing ass niggas, man. You know, because if that's the fucking way that they wanna, if that's the way that they wanna approach this thing, okay, then I'm aggressive. I'm out there looking like a fucking fool, and that's how y'all feel. Then yeah, you motherfuckers don't have to watch my videos. You don't have to invite me to no motherfucking cookouts. I don't fucking care. I got a grill in the back of my fucking house. Okay, you see. So yeah, we understand that what's taking place right now is there's a great separation taking place right now, man. Even inside of our own homes. Okay, some of us. All right, some of us are going to lose people we thought motherfucking cared. It's not. There's no getting the fuck away from it, man. You know. That's what we look like to our own family, like fucking clowns, man. These people are not taking what the fuck we're telling them serious. They're not taking it serious, man. Okay. All right. So, we got to just keep it fucking moving, man. All right. Just keep it moving, man. Because our family is not going to take this serious until all hell starts breaking loose. And it's like you can see what the fuck is going on the planet. You can see that the so-called white man. It's like, how in the fuck can you see the so-called white man moving the way that he's moving right now, and you still being an ignorant motherfucker towards the truth, man? You know? Oh well. All right. So let me go back to Daniel's 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers. Okay. You're talking about these brothers that are out here on the highways and hedges, and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living, all right, the holy ones, the elect, okay, that the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will, and setteth over it the basis of men. So we know that the Most High has given the earth rulership over the earth, certain parts of the earth at some times in the past, but gives rulership. They're going to have church today, Sunday. I guess they having church today. All right, Salakia. So we know that the Most High, there were 7 major captivities, and those seven major captivities, those nations that had us in slavery had rulership on the planet at the time. Okay, we can go back to Egypt. Okay, the Babylonians. All right, the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Medes. Okay, the Greeks, the Romans, and now again, all right, the second leg of the Roman Empire, the beast that was wounded and then was healed. Okay, that's the first Roman Empire, that beast was wounded. Okay, then when it was healed, what happened? The Renaissance came. Okay, the rebirth, and that's the basis of men being put in control of the earth. And I'm not talking about uh, when I'm talking about the basis of men. When you go into the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Babylonians and Assyrians had the northern southern kingdom in captivity. Okay, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks. Okay, when you start talking about Esau, or when you start talking about the Greeks, we know that that's the nation of Edom. Okay, we know that when the Most High gave them rulership, that was Esau. Okay, he had that yoke off of his neck for a period of time. Then he fell. That beast was wounded. That system was wounded, and came back as the Roman. It came back again. This being the second leg of the Roman Empire. Okay, the beast that was healed was wounded was healed. and came back during the Renaissance and got that yoke back off his damn neck again. Okay, after 1,000 years in slavery. Book of Revelations tells you the beast was going to be thrown in a pit for 1,000 years. Okay, and then released for a short period of time. Okay, and that short period of time began in the 1400s. Okay, when he took down the Jakes, he took down Jake over in Europe. Okay, so now we know that Esau, we know that this man has a very short period of time to rule. So we know we're coming to the end of that period of time, that there's a bounds that he cannot pass, and he was only going to be able to deceive the nations for a short period of time. Okay. So basically, that 500 years that he's been in rulership is half a day. It's a short period of time. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read again. It's behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, martial law, the concentration camps by Magus Mullis. Okay. I was reading this last week. Today's title is the devil's judgment. Okay, because we know, like I just got done explaining, that he was going to rule for a very short period of time. So when we start talking about that very short period of time, we're coming to the end of that right now. Okay, so the devil's judgment. Okay. All right. So every nation on planet Earth has been allotted an appointed time to rule, including the basest of men, the nation of Edom. All right, the nation of Edom, Daniel's 4:17. I just got done reading it. Okay, that people will understand that the Most High is in control by putting even the basest of men in control over the whole earth, man. And we know Esau is a base man. He doesn't understand how to rule, okay, properly. That's why there's so much confusion and war and death, you know, and famine. There's so much. There's you can't eat half the shit that these people are serving, man. Some of this food is so fucking toxic that dogs won't even eat it. Ants won't eat this shit. You see? They said the people. Somebody said they threw some McDonald's fries on the ground, and some black ants tried to eat it, and they fucking died. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So all of these prior kingdoms of the nations have failed to govern in accordance with the holy and eternal law. We're going to get Baruch. Baruch 4:1. I'm going to grab my other book. Oops. My wife got all kind of shit up here. Oops. So my eyes is playing tricks on me, y'all. Okay, so let me go back and read that again. All right. So all these prior kingdoms of the nations have failed to govern in accordance with the holy and eternal law, and that is Baruch 4:1. Okay. Oops, I got 5:1 here. Go back 4:1. All right. This is the book of the commandments of our power, Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Okay. So you got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And this is why Esau has his system promotes death, man. That's why he's incapable. He's an incapable ruler, man. Cause he's doing it. He's doing some wicked ass shit, man, and he's feeding people toxic ass food. Come on, man, this fucking thing is acting the fuck up. Okay, I'm gonna read also Romans 7:12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandments holy, and just and good. And this is why this is why we're supposed to follow the dietary laws. Okay, because the dietary laws keeps us from eating abominable foods which promote death, because you're not supposed to eat the shit, man. You're not supposed to eat shellfish. They keep the water clean. Okay, you're not supposed to eat shrimp, lobster, and crab. They clean the carcasses and the filth, all the other filth off of the ocean floor, man. Okay, these are things when Esau has red lobster, and okay, and everybody wants to go there on their birthday. So all these women, that's all the fuck they want to do is eat crab legs and shrimp all fucking day, you know. And then they wonder why they're unhealthy. You know, my mom used to complain about her gout in her foot, and I told her stop eating that fucking pork. You know, my mother-in-law, her boyfriend, talking about his gout, tell him to stop eating pork. that's what is that's what causes it. And, you know, and they agree. They, oh yeah, you know, when I don't eat it for a while, it doesn't bother my. It's like, then there you go. You see, you know, you can't look and see the signs of something and then continue to do it, man. But this is Esau. This is why Esau's an you cannot have somebody like this man in rulership on this earth for longer than this half a day that he's ruled, because there will be no, the Lord said it. It said if the time isn't shortened, there will be no flesh to be saved. If Esau ruled for another 500 fucking years, there will be no God. This place would be like a desert, man. What is the Planet of the Apes? The beast man. Don't let him breed in large numbers. He'll turn your land into a desert. He'll turn his land into a desert and then come turn yours into a fucking desert. You know? Cause what do they do, man? They steal resources and then they use the shit up. You know what I'm saying? They use the resources up, okay? They don't have a fucking clue how to keep and there's a lot of clean energy inventions out there, man. There's a lot of people creating generators with magnets. Quiet, they'll run forever. You know, might have to replace a magnet here and there, but these damn things will run forever. There's all kind of other clean energy inventions out here, man. And I ain't talking about lithium, okay, or nuclear. You know, but Esau keeps those things for himself. That's because he's a greedy bastard, man. He covets fields. You know, what do you do when you covet a field? You see something you want, and then you go and take the shit. That's what he does. Over in Venezuela right now, we got to get that oil. You know, but they can ready to fuck around and find out. Okay, so despite having a holy Bible in his possession, like I said, he doesn't want to listen to instruction. The so-called white man neglected and disregarded to utilize the scriptures as the sole guide, model, and standard for instruction throughout his kingdom, man. Psalms 50 and 17. Let me grab that. Psalms 50 and 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my word behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and has been partaker with adulterers. You see, he had the instruction, he had the Bible, he used it to keep us mentally and spiritually enslaved. But he never considered the use of it for the benefit of himself, not even the benefit of the world, man. Okay, he only used it to keep people oppressed, and he continued to use it with the televangelists. You know, you see, this is what Esau does, man. All right, he used it to tell you that God loved everybody. Okay, and so instead of you listening to what the word really said and reading for yourself, you wanted to listen to the so-called white man tell you what it said. Okay, so seeing thou hast seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my word behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and has been partaker with adulterers. Psalms the 84th chapter, man. Psalms 83, Salakia. Psalms the 83rd chapter. All those people named in Psalms the 83rd chapter, man. You know, these people have destroyed the apple of the Most High's eye, man, the elect of Israel, and you're getting ready to have to pay for that. Okay, so despite having a holy Bible in his possession, the so-called white man neglected and disregarded to utilize the scriptures as the sole guide, model, and standard for instruction throughout his kingdom. Consequently, wickedness has increased manyfold everywhere on the earth. Okay. And the Lord permitted the devil, the so-called white man, to have temporary dominion upon the earth for a short season. I already read that. Let me grab 2nd Ezra 14. I go change my book out. Second Ezra 14 and 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Okay, so the Greek, during the time of the Greeks, okay, Antiochus, hey, you guys get rid of all your laws, burn your books, burn this, get rid of that, don't take them clothes off and put these on, eat pork every day on this day every year. Okay, if you don't, we're gonna put you to death. Okay, so that's what they did. You see, you had a little bit of flexibility during the Roman Empire, but you still had to give to Caesar what was Caesar's. All right. So Esau's he's a damn devil, man. Verse 17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. What did I talk about as far as the food? Okay. When back then, it took I think they said it was like 3 or 5 men to carry one bushel of grapes. It was like 3 or 5 men, something like that. You know. Now you can bear, you can pick up a whole damn bunch of grapes by your damn self now, but a bushel by yourself right now, because that's how the earth has become weaker, because they don't use the land Sabbath. They don't let the land rest. Okay, that's another thing he doesn't do. That's why he has to spray chicken shit all over his fields to get his fucking food to grow. You know, and you have no clue what kind of. See, I used to work at a chemical plant where they made fertilizer. I was a truck driver for them. Um, and I'm gonna tell you right now, man, some of the shit that they were putting in this fertilizer, man, I was like, man, we're fucking eating this shit. You know what I'm saying, y'all? I didn't want to buy. I didn't want to buy food from local farmers, man. We got a lot of farms here where I live at. And these Amish people, they sell their food and shit, man. And it's like, I don't even know if I really want to buy this shit, you know? Because I know what the fuck they put in. I was there. I've watched that old ass man at that plant mix this shit up. You understand? Acid and all kind of shit, man. You know? Creepy, man. But let me continue. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell there. So it's going to get worse, man. If, like I said, if Esau was allowed to continue to rule for another 500 years, man, it's not, it wouldn't look good, man, for the earth, man. It just wouldn't. I'm sorry. You know, that's why the scriptures say, I believe it's in the book of Ecclesiasticus, um, the physician is going to come and cut off the lung disease. The physician is Yahweh Shai. He has to come and you got to take these people out of power, man. Okay. We know that Isaac came back as Solomon. Solomon is Yahweh Shai, and Isaac gave Esau the blessing of the sword. So he has to come back and take the blessing back, man. He's got to take that blessing and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna take this blessing back away from you, man, because you were wicked as hell with it. I'm gonna take it from you. I'm gonna let my people Israel according to my anger. The Lord said, I'm gonna do it according to mine anger, man, and my children through my children of Israel, my elect." Okay, that remnant, 144,000. I'm gonna use them as a battle axe to take your ass out of power, man. Okay, battle axe and weapons of war. I'm gonna use these men and it's gonna be according to my anger that they put your ass down, man. Okay. All right. So despite having, oh no, I already read that. The Lord permitted the devil, the so-called white man, to have temporary dominion upon the earth for a short season, with the establishment of the Lord's kingdom upon the earth at hand. Okay. Let me get Job 14:5 real quick. Salakia. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, that has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay. Salakia, y'all. Just looking at some stuff. Okay. So the scripture I just got done reading in Job. Okay, that the bounds that the devil cannot pass. Okay. He was given, and I brought this up earlier about him being bound for 1,000 years. Okay. He was put in the pit or into what we call confused state. All right, running around in the mountains of Georgia, Russia. Okay, the Caucasus. And there's a I don't know if it's going to be a movie or if it's AI generated or how they did it, but there's clips. Um, I'm assuming it's going to be a movie or something, but it's pertaining to Esau being kicked out of the world, man, and sent back to the Caucasus Mountains. Okay, so these people, they know that their end is here. They know without a shadow of doubt that their end is here, and there's nothing that they can fucking do about it. Okay, so the scripture said that there is a bound that he cannot pass. So let me read Revelations 20 and 2. I'll probably read 2 and 3. Yeah. And he laid a hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. When Rome fell, they ass got chased up into the Caucasus Mountains. Okay. All right, and cast him into a bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him. Okay, he took his knowledge, he took his understanding. Okay, he put his ass into a base state. He put him back into his base state. Okay, caveman. All right, or Caucasian cave dweller. Okay, they turned his ass back into a straight savage, man. All right, and then what happened around the 11th, 12th century? Okay, we started bringing them people down out the motherfucking caves, taking their women, you know, sleeping with their women. The Lord got pissed off at us and said, "Up, it's time to put their ass back. It was time to It's time for the prophecies to start kicking in." Okay, I told you, if you don't listen, you're gonna go into slavery on slave ship. If you don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'm gonna put your ass in slavery and slave ships. It was time for that prophecy to start to manifest. Okay, so we know that Esau has a bound that he cannot pass, and that's what we're coming into right now. We know that that short period of time. Okay, well, let me continue reading it. All right, to shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So when you're talking about 460, 430, 460, Rome fell. Okay, the Edomites got chased up into the mountains of Russia, Georgia. They were up in there for roughly 1,000 years when they established themselves again in the 1400s. Okay, that would be a 1,000 year period that they were allowed to come back out and start to deceive the nations. Okay, all right, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, so I just got done reading in Job. Okay, that he was going to have a period of time that he was not going to be able to continue. Okay, he had a boundary that he can't pass. Okay, and that short season, all right, that short season is over for him. All right, it's over for you fucking Edomites, man. All right, with the establishment of the Lord's kingdom upon earth at hand, the downfall of Esau's society is imminent. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the heralds. Okay, these men that are on the highways and hedges. Okay, they taught the curriculum was taught to wake up the 11th hour. The 11th hour are now teaching the new covenant. Okay, this gospel shall be taught, and then the end can come. Okay, this is what has to happen. Okay, regardless of how people feel, and like I said, it's interesting that that brother Yahweh the Maccabees was having problems with a I believe he said a cousin or an aunt. Okay, and I'm listening to him, and it's like, well, I haven't been having no problems like that. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, my family came at me. It's like this group text and shit, and everybody's, and I can't say that my sisters that are under me that they were coming at me any kind of way, but it's like at the end of the day, that's a circle over there within itself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure I've already, man, that's crazy. He's crazy. I ran into an old friend of mine I used to hang out with. I mean, I'm talking about fucking 40 years ago, plus 50 years maybe. When we was teenagers, man. You know, and he wasn't trying to make fun or nothing of me. He was just like, man, I can't believe he's doing that shit. Yeah, he said, I seen you out there teaching. I just can't believe that you doing that shit. You know. And I told him, he said something about, man, I hope you all right, man. I was scared. I thought they was gonna kill you. And I said, the scripture said to touch not mine anointed. Do my prophets no harm. You know. And his wife was sitting next to him. She said, yeah, yeah. That's right. You see? So we can't get caught up in, we can't get, and I had to tell my wife, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like I could fucking die out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that it comes along with the fucking job. It comes along with the responsibility. You know, if a man's ways please the Most High, then even his enemies shall be at peace with him. You know, the only reason why I'm sitting in my car today is because I'm achy as hell. I just got my fucking tooth pulled yesterday. You know, you can hear it in my voice and shit. But I gotta continue. But my ass will be back downtown next week. All right, believe that shit. Okay, so with the establishment of the Lord's kingdom upon the earth nigh at hand, the downfall of Esau's society is imminent, followed by his judgment according to his works out of the book of life. All right. So let me read 4. I'm going to jump down to 11 and 15 too. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Hamashiach Yahushua and for the word of our power Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast. That's taking the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. All right, neither his image, there it is, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach Yahushua for 1,000 years. And that's why we go out there and risk our life. Okay, because we want to be a part of that. We want to have that crown put on our head. Okay, we looking like goddamn fools on this side. Laughed at, joke. We're the joke of the fucking party, man. Sometimes, you know, and all of these people that smile in your face and tell you that they love you, and then the next thing you know, they talking shit behind your back. You know, because they don't understand. They don't think that anything significant is going to happen. It's just we going to live, we're going to teach the Bible, then we're going to die. And the world's just going to keep on fucking moving. Okay? With Esau in control at the steering wheel. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in a car with Esau at the wheel, man. You'd be better off in a car with a fucking drunk. You understand? A staggering drunk ass motherfucker and get you to a place safer than Esau would, man, behind the wheel. Okay. All right. But our people, they want to still sit their ass in that car with Esau, man. Okay. Verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Okay. Because this is what's going to happen if you take that RFID microchip. Okay. Those that consent unto him shall be had in derision. Okay. You're gonna take that shit and he's still gonna kill you. Or you're gonna take it and you're gonna be left here to burn right along with his ass. Okay. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Okay, if you're mocking these prophets, if you're coming up against them, if you're doing things that you ought not, okay, to offend these men, okay, if you're offending these men, then the Most High is going to fuck you up. Okay, because we don't have time for that shit, man. We don't have time for that. Just you're better off being in ignorance and leaving us the fuck alone than coming around and fucking with us. Get your ass out of here. Squirrel getting ready to come over here and put some fucking nuts up under my goddamn car. Motherfucker, get all up in your engine and shit. Yeah, I'm saying, Salakia, y'all. You see? But this is why we say, man, The scriptures tell you, man. The book of John. If you offend one of these little ones, man, it's better you put a millstone around your neck, man. Okay, that goes for this man, this comedian, you know, because even though he's bringing attention to the truth, okay, and a lot of people are going to start watching the videos, you know, because of this. You know, at the end of the day, it's like it at first it's going to be made a mocking stock. Everybody's going to laugh. Everybody's going to get a good joke. It's funny until there's going to be a group of them that are going to hear the truth because of it. Okay. But when you have family members that know that you've been in this for like damn near 10 years and they still talking, you know, they still acting that way, it's like what the fuck is wrong with you? When I say it's not funny, it's not fucking funny. That's all it is. I didn't need that. We don't have to argue about a goddamn thing. Okay? But for those people that aren't found written in the book of life, man, you know, it's gonna be bad for you. You're gonna be born again in the kingdom at some point. Okay? We don't know when you're going to come back. We don't know when you're going to come, how you're going to come, but we know that you're going to be reborn in the kingdom at some point because we have to bring the kingdom back. What is it? Isaiah 45 and 17. All of Israel shall be saved. Okay? All right? They shall not be confounded. World without end, man. It's going to be the Israelites' world is going to never end. And we're going to repopulate the whole fucking planet and other places. Okay? And whosoever was not found written in the Lamb's book of life, and the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Okay, so you, even if you are in this truth and you're not teaching it properly, you're not teaching the new covenant, but you make it onto a chariot, we're going to bind you. The scriptures say to bind them and throw their ass back in the outer darkness, throw them back down into that fire. All right. With the establishment, I already read that. Salakia. Due to unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches acquired by deceit, the kingdom is translated from Esau to Jacob. That's 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, 8 and 9. Okay. All right. Matter of fact, let me read that. Go grab it. I need my other book. All right. 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. And he said unto me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. That is symbolic to what is taking place right now. Well, what are we doing with the word? Okay, through our faith, we're bringing down, with the faith the size of a mustard seed, we're bringing down a mountain, right? You can move a mountain. Okay, and when you go into these large nations, the nation of Edom, America would be considered a mountain. Okay, then you have hills, which would be like Mexico, or you know what I mean. Mexico, I can't consider a mountain. I would have to say it was a hill, even though it's a pretty big ass country. Okay, all right. So let's go. Let's say like um, Brazil, Bolivia. These would be considered hills. They're pretty significant. But when you get into the militaries and the weapons and things of that nature, who has more control? Okay, mountains would be like Russia and China. Okay, all right. So the that symbolism of the holding of the hill is us teaching the word. Okay, and us teaching the word is actually bringing this man's system down. Okay, because he can no longer trick. He can't trick the nations. Okay, because a lot of people are starting to find out who he truly is, and we know for a fact that he uses his media, he uses his military, like he's down in Venezuela right now. And what they say is, what they tell you is, oh yeah, it's about drugs. We're going in there to get the drug dealers. We're going in there to take all the drug dealers down. Okay, take them out of power, so all them that drugs can no longer come into our country, which is a bunch of bullshit. Okay, they go in there and they get control of those things. They want control of the oil and the product, man. The drug companies want that shit. Is billions of dollars worth of medicinal use for their that cocaine. They're not going to just go down there and burn it all the fuck up. Okay, they're gonna bring it back here and give it to the drug companies and make a shitload of money, man. All right, and the oil, they're gonna go down there and steal the oil. Okay, yeah. For let me finish, man. Let me continue. Second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Okay, because we know that the kingdom has to be translated from Esau to Jacob, just like it was transferred from Jacob to Esau. Okay, when we fell in the 1300s. Okay, that was a translation taking place. So when you start talking about it's going to transfer from one people to another, now Esau's time, his boundary that he can't pass is here. That's why the prophets are teaching. Okay, so at the end of the day, this translation is going to be the same way it was when we fell. There's going to be what was it, a race war, basically. There was a race war that had took place, but a lot of our people died from the Black Plague. Okay, what was it, like 24 million or some shit like that? 24 million died from the plague. Okay, so when you start talking about our numbers were cut down because of this, and this is one of the reasons why we fucking fell, because we were doing shit we ought not. The Most High gave gave our people into lust, man, of the other nations, and we were told not to deal with the other nations. So when they went back to doing those types of things, after we kicked their ass out of the world, okay, up in the Caucasus, up to the Caucasus Mountains, what happened? We started bringing them back down and teaching them, okay, and dealing with their daughters. You see, and that's one of the reasons why we fell, man. Okay, because that translation from one people to another had to take place. The transatlantic slave trade had to take place. So when you start talking about the translation from Esau being in power to the children of Israel being in power, it's going to happen again. But it's not. We don't have an army, and we don't have an army outside of our brothers that are in the chariots. We don't have an army outside of the brothers that are teaching. Okay, we don't have weapons and things of that nature. So Esau is there's going to be a standard lifted up, but Esau knows that he's going to have to fight the Prince of Princes, which is Yahweh Shai, because Michael's going to have to stand up. Okay, Micah Allah is going to have to stand up. Yahweh Shai is going to come. Okay, all right. So there's going to be another translation. All right. Due to unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches acquired by deceit, the kingdom is translated from Esau to Jacob. I just read that. On account of Esau's wickedness, his society and world shall be destroyed. Okay, let me read. Let's say that Ecclesiasticus 10:4. Okay. Oh yeah. You know what? And I brought this up earlier. Okay, I'm going to read down. I'm going to read 4 down to 10 because there's the point that I made earlier. Okay, and I just said, yeah, I wish I had to come and cut him off, or Isaac, our father. Okay, Isaac, the father of Jacob and Esau. Okay, has to come back, and he has to take Esau's blessing, man, which is the sword. Okay. So Ecclesiasticus 10:4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Yahweh Shah. And the hand of our power Yahweh is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. Pride is hateful before our power Yahweh and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, like I just said. Why is earth and ashes proud? Why is the so-called white man so proud, man? Okay? Why? Because he has a dominion, man. He has power. He has a sword that was given to him as a blessing. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. What do I talk about him coveting fields? Okay. Going over to other people's countries and saying they're doing some wicked shit, and we're going to go in there under the guise of peace to steal the resources, right? That's him coveting fields. He's seen the gold over there in Africa. He wanted to go over there and, oh, we're going to just help you. We're going to bring some equipment over and just help you get it out. And, that's bullshit. Okay. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Verse 10, the physician, Yahweh Shai, cutteth off a long disease, and he that today is king, today a king, tomorrow shall die. So Esau's in rulership right now. He's the king right now, right? Okay, he tells damn near everybody on the planet what the hell they supposed to be doing. Okay. All right. He's the king, but today, but tomorrow, okay, that short period of time for him is up. So tomorrow he shall die, because that's what's going to get ready to happen to the nation of Edom, man. Okay, they're going to lose their blessing, the sword that's going to be taken back from them by Isaac, which is Yahweh Shai, the physician. Okay, and the profitable, that one that is profitable. Okay, and my fucking mouth starting to hurt. This teeth, man. I got that tooth pulled. It's starting to get that little heartbeat in it. Sorry, dog. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. Okay. So we know that Esau is getting ready to, this kingdom is getting ready to be translated. Okay. It's getting ready to be translated from Esau back to Jacob. Okay. That's the power structure here on the earth, man. The other nations were given time to rule, but the true structure of power is between Esau and Jacob. Okay, and that like I said, Esau's getting ready to lose his seat, man. He's no longer going to be the king. Okay, it's a lot there, y'all. On account of Esau's wickedness, his society and world shall be destroyed. Okay. The ill-natured practice of the so-called white man consists of nothing but wickedness and iniquity. Let me grab something real quick. Proverbs 13:6. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. All right, Habakkuk 2 and 12. This is Esau. The ill-natured practice of the so-called white man consists of nothing but wickedness and iniquity. America was established through bloodshed and iniquity. Habakkuk 2 and 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. Okay? This is what Esau did, man. He established America by what? Blood. And he's still establishing it by blood. And how? By going into these, not only killing his citizens, okay? They're supposedly citizens here in America, killing blacks at will, having the cops shoot brothers down, not being arrested, you know. That they'll arrest one here and there, you know what I mean, to make themselves look good, okay? But they really don't want to. That's why Trump said he's going to release. He's going to release the police. He's going to let them. He's going to give the police full immunity. But what he doesn't understand is when you start giving these savages, these base men, this kind of authority to go around and just push people to fuck around, you know, there's consequences, man, that come along with that. Okay. Because if y'all think that these people are just going to take getting kicked in the ass every day, beat down, arrested for nothing, stopped, frisked, have their doors kicked in, their whole fucking house tore to pieces, shelves and cabinets broke the fuck off, you know, furniture destroyed, you know what I mean? If you think that people are going to keep on putting up with that kind of shit, well, y'all just wait and see, okay? I'm going to just put it like that. So woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity. Okay? All right? The devil has perverted judgment and polluted the earth and the mind of the people with satanic doctrine and philosophies. His track record and history demonstrate that he is a deviant to every law, statute, and commandment, whether they concern, regard, or pertain to the moral, civil, and ceremonial laws of the Bible, such as dress code, conduct, dietary laws, high holy days, etc. By reason of all these things, the so-called white man will be judged without mercy. For he shall have judgment without mercy that hath shown no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. The so-called white man shed blood of hundreds of millions of Israelites around the world, and because of his perpetual hatred for Jacob, the initial stage of the devil's judgment is the recompense, retribution, and requital of his actions and wrongdoings. Let me read Ezekiel 35 and 5. Goes my eyes playing tricks on me. Okay. Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. When Abraham Lincoln, and this is why a lot of people don't understand what the Emancipation Proclamation just transferred the ownership of slaves, okay, to the state, which were, oh, get a job and I'm going to tax the shit out you. Okay. That's all that was. That's all that was about. Okay. So these people, they think they're truly free, but they're really not. All right. Galatians 6 and 7. All right. Be not deceived. our power Yahweh is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Okay? He who killeth with the sword shall die by the sword, right? That's what it says. You know, he that killeth with the sword shall die by the sword, man. Don't be mocked. The Most High is not, I'm telling you right now, like I said earlier about this simple ass dude, okay, making a skit, mocking the men of the Lord that have been out here teaching, you know, okay. Now I know he was probably going at IUIC, you know, all the marching and shit they've been doing around all these cities. And it's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? He's making a mocking stock of all of us. This is why my family sent that skit to me. And then, you know, it's like, what the fuck are all these squirrels doing out here? Get your ass. So I can. These little bastards are putting peanuts under my fucking car somewhere. And I'm putting nuts under my car, man. Man. Salagi, y'all. Damn. Lord have mercy. Salagi, y'all. Yeah, I'm like an hour in. Let me see what I got left. I wanted to try to finish this, but I might have to do another part to this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run out of space on this damn phone. We'll see. I'm gonna see what I can get through, y'all. Oh, I read that already. Galatians 6 and 7. Okay. Slovakia. Yep. Second Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh, our power, to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. It is a righteous thing to recompense tribulation, a righteous thing. So what's getting ready to happen to Esau is going to be considered a righteous act, man. Okay? And we're going to be allowed to take part in that. You see? You see, a lot of people don't understand, man, that when you do wicked ass things, see, we brought our judgment on ourselves. Okay? Just like we brought our judgment on ourselves by not following the law, statutes, and commandments. The Most High is going to do the same thing. Because I read it earlier about even though he had the Holy Scriptures, he had it in his hand. He actually used the Scriptures, man, for his benefit. During the time of slavery, after slavery, he's still trying to use it to this day. Okay? And in doing so, okay, he knew that he understands the scriptures. The devil understands the scriptures. That's how he used them to keep our ass in the dark. But he can't do it anymore because we have found out the truth. We found out who we are. We found out the prophecies. Okay, the history, the laws. Okay, and now the new covenant. So he can no longer baffle or hoodwink the people, man. Not all, the whole earth is seeing him now for who he is because of the scriptures, man. Because Israel woke up. Okay? Alrighty. Although all judgment cometh from Yahweh, the nation of Israel will play a role in the revenge and retaliation of the devil. Okay? And I think, let me get that. Ezekiel 25 and 12, and we'll read down to 14. Thus saith Yahweh, thus saith our power Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith our power Yahweh, I will cut off. I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut it off. Will cut off man and beast from it, and will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. What did I say that earlier? And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh our power Yahweh. Okay? So according to the anger of the Most High, you're going to have a man out here endowed with spiritual power. Because like I said, we do not have an army. Okay? When that standard is lifted up, when these men are given these abilities, then that's when Esau is going to start getting his ass kicked in. Okay? Even though the 2/3 are going to put some work in, they're going to get fucked up. Okay? You're going to have a lot of our men, Black, Latino, and Native American Indian men fighting their asses off. Okay? But they're going to get wiped the fuck out for the most part. It's going to be like, man, we're done. We're done. They got us. And then that standard's going to get lifted up, and the tide is going to change, because you're going to have Michael show up. You're going to have Yahweh Shai show up. The ground troops are going to be putting in work. Those brothers I said that are endowed with spiritual power. I'm going to make you my weapons of war, my battle axe and my weapons of war, man. A new sharp threshing instrument. Okay? And according to the Most High's anger, we ain't going to, I read it earlier, said that Esau is going to be dealt with. It's going to be a righteous ass kicking, and he's not going to be shown any mercy, man. He's not going to be shown mercy. Okay? We're not going to transgress the will of the Most High, man, when it comes down to putting somebody's ass to death. Okay? It's just not going to happen. All right? I think that was it for that one. Oh, there it is. Jeremiah 51 and 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. What did I just get done saying? What's getting ready to happen? Esau's getting ready to. These people are getting ready to see something that they only see when they go see to the movies and watch a Marvel movie. Okay. Okay, when you go watch the Avengers and you see the shit that these people are doing, it's like, man, that shit's crazy. If people could really do that. The Lord said, thou art my battle axe. He said he's going to make us a new sharp threshing instrument to beat the net. We're going to beat these. As a matter of fact, let me keep on reading a little bit more. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and the rider. Who is the horse? The power, their military equipment. We're gonna beat these motherfucking people's ass. We're gonna destroy these people, man. Okay, without mercy. Okay, we will show no mercy. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. No mercy. And with thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Okay? It ain't gonna matter if your ass is pregnant, if you're a virgin, if your ass ain't coming to this new covenant, You ain't got the Y on you, that mark of exemption. We're gonna put your ass to we're gonna jack your ass up, man. Unless our discernment through the spirit tells us that nah, don't touch that person. That's gonna be the Y on you, man. Otherwise, we are not gonna have mercy at all. At all. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. All right. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. He's gonna put it on the spirit of these other nations to burn America with thermonuclear fire, man. Okay? That's what's getting ready to happen. So you're getting ready to see an Avengers movie on Earth, man. Real soon. Okay? Chariots showing up, men with a spiritual power that have been turned into battle axes and weapons of war, man. That ain't gonna have no mercy on the young, the old, the man, the woman, the maid. Okay? Everybody wants to laugh. Everybody wants to mock. You see? Every fucking body wants to do these things. Okay? But when this shit starts getting real out here, and it's getting ready to, everybody is going to want some fucking mercy. Everybody's going to say, please, not me. You know? You see? Nobody motherfucking, none of you people want to do a damn thing to please the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But when all hell starts breaking loose, you're all going to want some mercy. And you're not going to get it. Okay? So the nation of Israel will play a role in the revenge and retaliation of the devil. Okay? And I read the scriptures. Okay? Are not the saints the true judges of the earth? In addition to the slaughter, carnage, and massacre of the Edomites, a further portion of the devil's verdict is enslavement for a period of 1,000 years. Okay? So you're going into slavery for 1,000 years, man. You can read that in the book of Revelations 13, 18, 20. Our forefathers, such as King David and King Amaziah, once issued, imposed, and executed this judgment upon Edom in 2 Samuel's 8:14, 1 Chronicles, and 2 Chronicles 25, 11 and 12. Again, during the Byzantine Empire, when I spoke about us falling in the 1400s, okay, also known as the Dark Ages or the Holy Roman Empire, Esau had a yoke upon his neck, okay, because he was in slavery under us. He was in slavery, even though he was up in the Caucasus Mountains. When we brought them down, they were servants, man. Okay? The Bowers, or that they call them the Rothschilds and the DuPonts, Gettys, Bilderbergers, Oppenheimers. They were the Bowers. They were our fucking slaves, man. And they know that. That's why they're so hyped up about trying to put us in back into slavery, so that they can exterminate us. Okay? That's what their plan is, man. It's like, yo, we can never let these people get back into rulership or we're finished. This is it for us. They know that. Okay? They know that if they fall, they're never fucking rising again. That's it. That's it. You see? They understand this. All right. So again, during the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Dark Ages or the Holy Roman Empire, Esau had a yoke upon his neck. You can read that in Genesis, the 27th chapter, verse 40. being the slaves or Slavs, okay, the slaves under the Israelites, okay, under Israelite reign, sovereignty, and dominion. All right, it's the word slave derives from esclavos, and the Spanish esclavo derived from the Latin. Okay, I don't want to get into all of these, but we understand what that means. Okay, so the latter end and ultimate sentence carried out upon the devil is annihilation via fire, also known as a holocaust. Obadiah 1 and 18. Let me read that real quick. Okay. Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So the house of Jacob would be the southern kingdom. They shall be a fire. And the house of Joseph, which would be the northern kingdom, the Latinos, okay, he shall be a flame. And the house of Esau, the so-called white man, for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall be none, not, there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Okay, so after that 1,000 years, we're going to burn these people's asses. We're going to round them up, and we're going to get rid of the seed line, man. Okay. All right, completely consumed by fire are to be interpreted it literally burned whole. Like I said, we're going to bundle them up like sticks and burn their asses up. All right. Okay. So following a sentence of 1,000 years of slavery, the nation of Edom will be exterminated off the planet. Let me get Numbers 24 and 20. Close my eyes. Salaki, y'all. Numbers 24 and 20. When he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Okay? Your asses are going to get kicked off the planet. Go to Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. Okay? Yeah, let me read that. I got some time left. I think I'm going to try to, after this, I'll read down to the end of the paragraph, and I think I'll end it there, and I'll have to start back with a part two. May do that midweek camp, but I think I might go into something else, man. But Salakia, I'm gonna read Ezekiel 35th chapter. I'm gonna read that down, and then try to finish the paragraph. All right. Ezekiel 35 and 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh our power. Behold, O Mount Seir, the so-called white man, Esau, the Edomites lived in Seir, okay? All right, Petra, okay? Then after they became the Greeks and the Romans, when Rome fell, they were chased up into the Caucasus Mountains, okay? I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, still shooting us down and hanging us and shit, kidnapping brothers, and they finding them hanging in the woods talking about they must have killed themselves. Okay, all right, we gonna find out about all that. Believe that shit. Therefore, as I live, saith our power Yahweh, well, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? This is why you're not going to have, your judgment is going to be without mercy. Okay? All right? Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and I will cut it off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with the slain, men of thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in thy rivers shall they fall, that are slain by the sword. I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return. Like what did I say earlier? If Esau knows that if his ass, when he falls, if he don't take us out when he falls, he's never gonna be in rulership again, ever. Okay? Period, point blank. I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and he will possess it, wherein the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith our power Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Okay, everything that you have done to the children of Israel is going to fall right back on your motherfucking head, man. And it's going to be twofold. It's going to be that 1,000 years of hardcore punishment and double the ass kickings. Okay, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume. The Most High put you in our hands so that we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. And right now we want to Salakia. Right now they want to exterminate the children of Israel. Okay, that's their motive, their MO right now. Salakia, y'all. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith our power Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate. As thou did rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto you. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea. Idumea is just a Greek way of saying Edom. Okay, so Idumeans means Edomites, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. So all the Esau, Edom, after the 1,000 years of slavery, are going to be done away with, man. And that's Obadiah. I just read Obadiah 1:18. All right. While in the height and pinnacle of his kingdom, the nations were in awe and amazement after Esau. The entire world desired to be the so-called white man, or to be like the so-called white man. Esau became the leader in technology, industry, military, and finance, and his image was the standard of success, wealth, and beauty. The nations, including Israel, followed after his ways, customs, and traditions. Okay? So Esau is getting ready to be totally destroyed, okay? After everybody came to Esau, all of these nations lived deliciously, okay? Even our people, when you go into the people that were in sports, okay, acting, all right, music, our people, Israelites, lived deliciously right along with the other nations under Esau, Edom, man, and they desired to be like him. They envied him. That's why you have our women with blonde wigs and shit on. Okay, so at the end of the day, I have some more I want to get into, but I know I'm getting ready to run out of space. It's been about an hour and a half, looks like. So I don't want to go in to too much more, because I think that was a fitting scripture. Our chapter, Ezekiel 35th chapter, was fitting to end this. Okay, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakagodash. Again, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well, and shalom to the Akim, Akwathium, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom. Yeah, side note, man, if I might have time later, because I cook my meals and shit for today, so I don't have nothing to do, man. I might finish this later, Lord willing. All right. Salakia.